Hey y'all, welcome to Shutter's Full Podcast, where we talk with creators, dreamers, and doers who are chasing purpose and building something meaningful.
It is not about what you do, it's why you do it. And today we have Mark Mabry on the podcast.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Happy to be here.
We are so excited to have you because we've had a lot of singer-songwriters on here. And we're both excited to have a fellow photographer on here because we're like, this is what we do, you know, so we can relate and have some like deeper conversations.
I'm thrilled to come on and talk about photography.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I don't even know where to start.
Well, we'll start for you.
For those who don't know you, how would you introduce yourself and your art?
I started as a commercial photographer, went to Brooks Institute of Photography in Santa Barbara, dropped out. Because that's what you do for art school. Like, you have to drop out. Especially if it's that expensive.
Yeah, they're usually really expensive too.
If you're not coming out with like doctor after your name, drop out of art school as soon as you have the tools.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. So I was a commercial photographer in Phoenix for 7-8 years. And then I decided to do a Christian project, just a passion project. I did a project called Reflections of Christ. It went viral, and that like changed the trajectory of my life completely.
Amazing.
I became an artist, not a photographer.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
Yes.
And I've heard you guys talk about that. You're like, the first time you got to shoot an album cover, it was like art.
Yeah.
Instead of like, hey, make my family
creating.
look normal. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And I fell in love with that. And then I moved to Texas. I was Glenn Beck's creative director for 3 years at the Blaze. That was awesome. And then I took a marketing job because I got tired of the Blaze. Glenn and I are still really good friends. We were just visiting each other a couple of weeks ago. It was too all-consuming for me as a dad, and so I left there. And anyway, so who am I? I'm just like I'm an artist.
Yeah.
You know, I have a couple songwriting credits.
Yes, we're gonna
ask
you
you
about
into that too.
And I've co-produced an album that did well, that charted.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know.
But
that.
I'm not like a musician.
Yeah.
You know.
Not that form.
You're
of
an
art.
artist in every sense of the
I'm
word,
an
though,
artist.
it sounds
I'm an
like.
artist.
Yeah.
And I love it. And every time I try to do something else, I fail miserably.
Yeah.
My wife and I are like, we don't go out to eat because it's expensive. But when we want to waste money, we make an investment.
Yeah.
And it always goes bad.
Oh, I mean,
I'm the worst investor in the world.
in my head, I was just like the radio stations. Was that like a thing? Okay.
Done. Lost
I was
money
like,
there.
1 minute you were like, I bought a bunch of radio stations. Okay, how's that going? We sold it.
Yeah, that was 8 months later.
Yeah.
And I was like, long drive, sold it. But anyway, so I'm a horrible investor, but I love the thrill of it.
Yeah.
Might as well go to Vegas. I'd have a better chance.
Oh, might as well.
How did you get into photography?
You know, it's interesting. I wanted to be a lawyer.
Okay.
I was going to Arizona State, pre-law. I was a junior, studying political science and a minor in Russian.
Oh, wow.
And,
Wow.
yeah, I'm a Russian speaker.
Did you go on your mission to Russia?
I went on my mission to Russia.
Okay,
Wow,
that's
very
what
cool.
I thought.
So 97 and 99, I lived in Russia, so I was fluent in Russian, came back, I'm like, this is easy. So studied Russian and political science, and then on 9/11, the actual 9/11, not
wow.
the anniversary of,
Yeah.
I wake up and I've got a 1-year-old son and my wife, and it's like 6 a.m. in Arizona. And my mother-in-law's like, are you guys watching TV? I watched TV. I watched Plane 1 or Plane 2 crash. You know, we tuned in between Plane 1 and Plane 2. And I'm
Yeah.
like, what in the world? But still, it's New York. It's a world away.
Yeah.
And I was sitting in class, and it was a politics of a revolution class. And on the way from my house to ASU, I'd had enough time to at least listen to the radio, enough to where I was like, okay, something bigger. This wasn't an accident.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, there's something crazy, and we don't know what. You know, the government hadn't yet spun a narrative.
Yeah.
And so it was mysterious. And I'm sitting in this politics of a revolution class with this guy that's supposed to be a brilliant international politician. Does not mention it. Does not mention 9/11. And,
That's shocking.
And I was like, this is kind of dumb.
Yeah.
And then I go into my next class.
They're like business as usual.
Yeah, business as usual. And I just got up and I walked out, and it's like, this is so dumb. And I was working with a photographer at the time, and I'd never done anything in photography other than just like carry this guy's bag around, because my parents were like, hey, our friend's a photographer and he needs a guy to carry his bag around. I was like, I can carry stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I walk out of class and I walk into the ASU bookstore. I'm a sucker for magazines. I love magazines. And so probably you guys are maybe similar. Like, you go to a magazine rack and you're like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
You're just like looking at the photography. And this is pre anything social media. It's 2000 or whatever it was, 2001. And I saw a PDN, Photo District News, and I liked that magazine. I was looking at it and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to be a photographer. Honestly. I walk out of school, I go home, and this is in September, because September 11th.
Yeah.
Right at the beginning of the semester.
Yeah, you just started.
Yeah, and I went home, and no one in my parents didn't graduate from college. My sister did, but I wasn't really involved in it. So I didn't know how records work. I was just kind of going to college, racking up credits.
Yeah.
I walked out, didn't withdraw, just left.
Yeah.
Right, and so I went home, and I told my wife, I'm like, I just want to be a photographer. She goes, okay.
We love a supportive wife.
Yeah, what now? You're not making money anyway, so you might as well not make money as a photographer. I go, but I want to do it right. And so I looked at photography schools, and I'm like, let's move to Santa Barbara. And we had this beautiful little house in this cute little neighborhood that we managed to get in when houses were affordable. And we sold it, and we moved to Santa Barbara. And we went to Brooks for about a year, maybe a little more than a year, until I was pawning lenses to make rent. And then I was like, well, crap, looks like I'm done.
Yeah.
And came back and had a great career. I was loving. I did a ton of portrait work, but I kind of felt myself slipping, and I was like, I had zero satisfaction.
Yeah.
Not a lot of meaning. Now there is meaning, because you go to shoot a family, for instance, and somebody's like, hey, my husband has stage 4 cancer,
right,
and we need a family picture, and you're like, ooh.
Yeah.
Those were highly meaningful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you take a picture. I was shooting one time. I was at a wedding, and there was this little girl. Everybody was late. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
And so there's this little girl just playing around. Cute little girl, big blue eyes. And she's just playing around, and I'm just taking pictures of this little girl because I was bored.
Yeah.
And 3 weeks later, she drowned.
Oh my god.
Oh my
right?
god.
That stuff's
Yeah.
meaningful.
Yeah.
But everything else wasn't meaningful. Barrett Jackson auto auction, not meaningful.
Yeah.
There's a model sitting on a car, which when you're young and stupid, you sit a model with a sequin dress on a $2 million car. I did that. And the owner of the car was like,
Yeah. Don't scratch the paint.
yeah, don't scratch the paint. I was like, she's not that heavy. She's like, I don't care. Anyway, and so I was getting kind of worn out, and I was like, I got to get out of this. I can't do this. Photography is not going to scale for me emotionally. This is dumb. And plus, and now we're at 2006, and real estate is just booming. And all my friends are getting rich doing just stupid land deals. I'm like, well, I want to be rich. Jeez. That I didn't know yet that I was a horrible investor.
Okay.
That has revealed itself in the 20 years after 2026, including money that I invested in 2026. I was just kind of tired, so I really made it a matter of prayer. And I'm like, what am I going to do with my life? And I got nothing. It was I got white noise from heaven. Nothing. And I kept praying, and I kept praying. And I got a little inkling, change your music. I had a great collection back when iTunes was 99 cents a piece, before they went to $1.29, before they went to free. And I had all sorts of crap. And I was like, this is littering my head. It was brain rot before we could scroll.
Yeah.
And so I did. I just trashed almost my whole catalog. Probably $1,000 in music.
Oh my goodness.
Which for me at the time was still a lot of money, you
Yeah.
know, especially when you're talking just digital music assets. Got rid of it, and I was like, oh, and I could hear a little better. Next thing, okay, what? God got rid of my music. Now I'm just can't work out because you can't work out in the country. Sorry, everybody in the. And then it was like, hey, get rid of your books. I had all these art books from photography school, and I don't know if this was a symbolic gesture.
Yeah.
Of throw away everything you know about art and
Yeah.
photography and just start over.
Yeah.
Or if it was the fact that some of the stuff in these art books is trash. If it wasn't called an art book, it might be called pornography.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't need that sitting there, especially when I've got now at this point 2 little boys. They're gonna be running around the house that can mess up any human, especially young boys. And so I was like, all right. And I went it was a Sunday morning that I got that idea. I went over to my studio, which is a couple miles from my house. I dump everything in the trash.
Yeah.
And wheeled it out to the curb. I'm like, before I come to my senses, I'm going to wheel all these books that were expensive.
Hundreds of dollars
yes.
worth of books. Yeah.
I wheel them out to the curb, and luckily they got dumped before I could go and
Go and salvage.
Yeah, go and salvage. And then just things, I was completely hooked on energy drinks, which is funny because I drink a Celsius on the way here.
I
But
was
I'm not
gonna call you out for that.
yeah. I'm
I was
not,
wait, didn't you just drink a Celsius?
yeah. But it used to be I couldn't function, and that was
Okay. You were dependent.
yeah. And this is
Yeah.
2006 again. Early adopter of bad habits because they were brand new, a monster.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I couldn't function, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna quit. So I quit cold turkey, and all of a sudden now I've got nothing good to read, no music, and headaches. Right. But
But you've purged your life.
I've purged my life. And then all of a sudden it was like, do a project about Jesus. I'm like, yeah, it's cute. Like, I'm not Michelangelo. Painters do that.
Yeah.
There is nothing had been done photographically.
Yeah, I was talking to Brittany about this. I think our church didn't want photographic depictions of Christ. They wanted just paintings. It was
like written. They've got like art guidelines. It was like written out, but big deal. That's a church rule, not a gospel truth.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I kind of went on an art fast. I wasn't looking at anything. It's like, okay. And I was just starting to visualize, say, how could I do this? How could I do this? And in our town, we had this big Easter pageant. And so I called the director, who was a client of mine, kind of told her this idea. It didn't have a name. It didn't have anything. I was like, I want to shoot some scenes. I go, when I get done, you can use them for PR or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I just want to get this out of my system so I can go make money in real estate. So I can go lose money in real estate.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Man, but from the time I started to shoot, it was like, whoa. Like, I came alive. My photography business tanked because I was so preoccupied. Like, I wanted to shoot a depiction of the angels flying. Mm-hmm. Right? We got wildly creative. Like, I was praying one night, and I saw, like, how I wanted the angels positioned in the air. And I got up. I can't draw. I got up and I drew like stick figures of how I have it somewhere.
Yeah.
Like angels, big round head, big nose, like stick body, like flying with a trumpet.
Big wings.
Yeah, it was. And I took that and I was like, okay, how can we make this? How can we make these guys fly like without harnesses?
Yeah.
All right. I grew up on a trampoline. I have 7 sisters jumping on the trampoline and doing flips. Everyone in our family could tumble.
Yeah.
Because my big sister could tumble, so it's just what you did. You know, like we can't have one of these round, like child-proof trampolines.
Yeah.
It's got to be like one of the old school. You can
like rectangle ones.
You can break your neck on it. Yeah. Rectangle one enough to get high, right? And I had a friend with a big studio. He was like, dude, I want to come shoot in your studio. I need to shoot a bunch of angels like flying on a trampoline. He goes, all right. So we booked the day and we lit this thing all up super cool, like big strip light, like you light a car with, you know, on the ceiling. Yeah. And I could finally flex all the stuff I learned at Brooks that you can't do at a family shoot. You know? And I was supposed to be shooting the next day, and I still hadn't found a rectangular trampoline, but I wasn't like worried about it. And guy walks in, I was shooting his tools, and I was like, hey man, do you know anyone with a rectangular trampoline? Not a lot of people had those in 2000, right? Because they were already like the
banned.
Like the Karen trampolines.
Yeah.
The only thing we had now. And he goes, we have one. Not kidding. I was like, are you serious? He goes, yeah, like I live in my parents' old house and they just left it. We had it from like the 80s. And it's bouncy on long springs. Just, and so I called my brother-in-law and a bunch of guys. I'm like, guys, I need help getting a trampoline. So we went and got a rectangular trampoline and shot it. There's a video of it online of how we shot it, and it's so fun.
Yeah, I saw it.
People just flying, and then we put a sheet on it because it was such a dirty old trampoline, you know, and they had white angel costumes on.
Yeah.
I'm going to use this story like as a microcosm for like how the whole thing happened, right? I shot all the angels. I was like, I need a landscape. Luckily, I live in Arizona where the topography isn't that far off of the Holy Land. And there was this cool place that I like to go shoot. And I brought a tripod, and my buddy let me use. My camera was fine, but his was higher res. He goes, here, dude, take my camera. And so I put his camera on a tripod, and I'm skipping up this like big rocks, like the side of this cliff. My little son following me, and all of a sudden, pop! The camera falls off of my tripod.
No.
Like decouples. It's tumbling down the hill. I hear glass. I'm like, oh. I said words that you shouldn't say when you're like going to shoot angels with your 7-year-old. He's like.
But also warranted.
Yeah. It was like so much for the spiritual experience of this thing. But anyway, so the next morning I call up my buddy. I'm like, can I come over? I was like, dude, I dropped your camera down a cliff. My son and I went down and found it. And luckily his camera got banged up, the body, but it was all right. Just needed like a replacement part. The lens was my lens, and it had shattered. Yeah. It was a big L, like fat lens too.
Oh, no.
But that's all right. He goes, but tell me what you're doing. And he was a pilot. He was an aerial photographer.
Oh, cool.
That's why he had the high res stuff. I'm like, I'm doing this thing. I don't even know what it is. I just want to shoot a bunch of scenes about the life of Jesus. He goes, dude, let me help you scout it. So he started like flying around the state and finding spots for me.
Wow. Yeah.
And like, so cool. So later around that same time, I had registered for this workshop with Greg Gorman, who's one of my favorite photographers. And it was in Mendocino, California. So we drove up to Mendocino. We used my father-in-law's motorhome. And there was this guy there who was one of the preeminent retouchers. He retouched the Thriller album.
Oh, wow.
And he retouched Sharon Stone for Basic Instinct.
That's amazing.
He goes, tell me about your work. I'm like, well, I'm kind of working on this project right now in addition to my portrait stuff. And he goes, I'd love to look at it. So this guy retouched my angels.
Oh, okay.
Ta-da. So I stumbled into my first cool image, like mistake after mistake after mistake. Here's the final image. See?
Yeah, final image.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that fun?
And then when you think that all these angels were jumping on trampolines to
Yeah.
get that shot, and then they were all
Wow.
composited together.
By the Thriller album guy.
By the Thriller
How
album
did you
guy.
How did you find the angels? I mean, did you cast for dancers? I mean,
That's
there's
my little
clearly one
sister.
dance.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're all dancers. That's my little sister. That's one of my employees. That was the dude that was in the play. That was the client's daughter. That was my sister's friend. That was my trainer.
Wow.
That's so cool. Yeah.
And in the other place, I've got like my plumber, my electrician, my brother-in-law, my mom. You know, like
Anybody that was willing to support you in this cause.
a girl that I had a crush on's mom in high school. Like all these different people, just regular people, right? And that bothered me for about, I don't know, a decade. It's like, what if I got more interesting people or whatever? I was like, no way, man.
No.
The real people. This is how oblivious I was. A couple of my angels had their nails painted.
Yeah.
And so I was catching flack for that online. Like, angels wouldn't paint their nails. I'm like, well, angels wouldn't be jumping on my trampoline. Like, the idea is that there's like divinity in all of us. And there's humanity in all of us. And so if I've got this guy depicting Peter, who's actually like a personal injury lawyer, which it, in the real case was, but also like a good friend, there couldn't be anything more perfect than that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And
I
so
love
I've
that.
really embraced the humanism in my work. And that came later in life. Like I ran away from it at first. And I would try to think of some theological reason why I left the nail paint. Really, it's just that I'm not a stickler for detail.
Right.
This project became like all I thought about.
Yeah. It consumed you.
And it consumed me. And it consumed me with thinking about Jesus in a very human way. Like, how would he move? How would he act? Like, what would walking in water really look like? You know, what would the resurrected Jesus, like, how would he move? How would he, you know?
Yeah.
And luckily, the man that portrayed Jesus was also the guy from the Easter pageant. So he had thought through it way more than me.
Yeah.
As like a stage actor. But then I had to take him out and shoot him in like close range on a camera. And that's way different than the stage.
Yeah.
And it was really like, it was really holy to me to like think that much about Jesus. And it completely changed who I was.
What was missing for you when it came to depictions of Jesus in art?
I don't know that I had ever put my finger on that I wanted like a more modern depiction of Jesus.
Okay.
Because I had cool little paintings of Jesus in my house. You know, it's a good little Christian family.
Yeah.
But apparently there was something missing.
Right.
And I didn't know that I would kick off a genre.
Yeah.
Like, because
Which you did.
The genre didn't exist.
Yeah.
So maybe I was missing something more visceral than a lot of painters could do. Because, I mean, dude, Michelangelo, that guy was visceral.
Yeah.
You know, Rembrandt's painting of Peter being crucified upside down, that was visceral. But I guess just reality was missing for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and not that this is real. And so my art is just as idealized as any classical painter in terms of like what Jesus would look like. And I don't pretend like that this is an authentic Jesus.
Yeah.
But it's something that can inspire people to think about Jesus, and that's all I want.
Yeah.
Do you think it was more personal for you though? Like was it fulfilling something in you to have him portrayed in a certain way? Like, did you need him humanized?
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so. Like all the philosophers and good theologians, they're like, you know, sadly we make God in our image.
Yeah.
And I'm just happy that I made a Jesus I agree with.
Yeah.
Again, not that I think that it's perfect or that it's even a fair depiction of Jesus.
Right.
But the things that he was doing and the ways he was acting, there's some stuff, like some itches that I needed to scratch.
Yeah.
Like the crucifixion or like Jesus being whipped. Things that were just like tough physically that I hadn't seen addressed in Christian art. But I didn't, again, I wasn't trying to make a genre. And I suppose I was trying to make a statement, but I didn't realize that till I was done. So I'm not sure what was missing for me exactly.
Do you feel that fulfilled right now though?
Yes. I always feel it until I don't. And then I told my wife, I'm like, I feel pregnant. And she knows what that means. I'm like, not that I know what it's like to be pregnant.
Right. Right. It's a metaphor.
It's a metaphor. there's something like stirring. There's like life in me. And this happens now like every decade where I'm just like, I got to go create. And so I went and did one in 2019. I was supposed to shoot in Israel, had it already roll, because this one actually had a budget. You know, I was like, oh, I can do this now. But then we got COVIDed out like 3 weeks in advance. And I had a different Jesus. I'll show you. That guy. Right?
Oh, yeah.
He was my second Jesus.
Yeah.
He's a musician. I don't really ever use their real names. And that's my mom, actually.
Oh. She made it.
Yeah, you made it. Water into Wine was that one, and it was 2018, so it was 12 years after I had shot my original Reflections of Christ. He was like a more ethnic depiction of Jesus. But I needed something more approachable. If I was going to critique my first art, it's that I just used my neighbors. Yeah. And for the most part, I lived in a little white suburb of Mesa, Arizona. And that was just the people around me. I was like, hey, man, want to be in a picture tomorrow? Don't shave. Like, that's how it went. It's not like I was casting. But for this one, I actually cast. And it was really fun because I could like throw a broader net that was more approachable.
Yeah.
Some things that I loved in that one. We went down and shot it in Texas instead of Israel.
This episode is brought to you by Gas Boss, our favorite small-town gas station with the biggest heart.
Gas Boss is the kind of stop that instantly makes you feel welcome.
They've got hot, delicious food and hand-scooped ice cream.
And in the warmer months, the kind of outdoor live music that brings the whole community together under the stars.
You've got to check out their curated backcountry shops full of merch, bait, ammo, camo, and all those treasures you didn't even know you needed.
And one of my favorite things, their prayer shack, open to anyone who wants a quiet moment.
Gas Boss is rooted in Christian values and real community spirit. You can feel it the second you walk in.
So make the trip out to Bon Aqua, fuel up, and experience Gas Boss for yourself.
Shout out to Michael Shepard of Your Vibes Entertainment in Dixon, Tennessee for supplying our sound equipment. Contact him for all your entertainment and sound needs. He's ready to party.
A little bit cheaper.
Yeah. So I want to talk about the walking on water image because it's one of your defining pieces. Is it one of your first ones?
No.
Okay.
I mean, it was from the first group that I shot. We took another trip down to Mexico. I shot this in Mexico. I keep pointing at it. This in Mexico.
We'll point it out here.
Yeah,
for those that are watching.
For those that
the
are
image,
amazing.
Walking on water.
And again, I was like, we went down there and I'm like, we need to shoot Walking on Water. I had like this epiphany. I saw it in my head what I wanted.
Yeah.
Because we were in a recording studio making an album for this, produced by a producer named Jason Barney, who's awesome. And my father-in-law he's a composer. And you should have seen when I pitched them this project from a musical perspective. I'm like, I'm doing a photographic depiction of Jesus. And they're like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. But you're my son-in-law. You're married to my daughter, so this is awkward. But the album charted.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was fun. Okay. And so I got to creative produce that. Jason was the actual producer. But anyway, I was sitting there listening to these guys in the studio one day, and it was like, holy. And so I had brought in some of the art that I made, and we would use that in the studio to kind of like inform what we wanted to record. And then they'd record something, and I'd listen to them recording, and I would be like inspired by their recording to go shoot something else. And so I had this moment where I was like, I want to go shoot Jesus walking in water. I want to shoot Jesus and Peter like over fish on the beach, all this stuff. But I didn't have a plan on how to execute it. And so we went to Rocky Point, Mexico, where a friend of a friend had a house on the beach we could stay at. And when we got there, I'm like, okay, how are we going to make Jesus walk on water? And he's like, well, I have a bunch of bricks. I'm like, that works. And so honestly, there's like 10 bricks on water, and I'm like, okay, Robert, I just want you to walk on water, like walk on these bricks. And it was like, whoa, like stuff. And I heard, you did it with crates. I heard you talking.
That's right.
Yeah, I did it with a pallet.
Yeah, a pallet, which would have been way better. I was like, pallet. All right, harder to slip off a pallet.
Yeah, and a little bit more longevity to walk on.
Yeah, a little more to walk on. He had to try to see them in the water.
Yeah.
And there were things that like bothered me at first. Like if you look at some of my early walking on water stuff, I had a guy Photoshop out a lot of the water that was hitting his field. I'm like, well, that's not perfect.
Yeah.
But the more it wore on me, the more I was like, Jesus was perfect, but it didn't mean stuff didn't happen to him.
Right.
He still got beat up and spit on and splashed by waves.
Yeah.
And so I went back to the old water stuff.
Yeah.
And now we have Jesus with a white robe. So I go back, I revisit these images every few years. And I'm in the middle of doing that with an artist from South Africa right now. I'm like, I want to revisit all my stuff and just rework it.
Wow.
And with like a more mature approach to life.
Well, do you remember what I told you about this image, what I liked about it?
Oh, geez, now you're testing me.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, but why don't you remind me? I want to see if you remember.
I remember because I still see it. Okay, so Mark and I go to the same church. We go to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And he was giving a talk one day and sharing all his photography. And I went up afterward to go talk to him. And I was staring at this image that he had taken a photograph of. And, you know, you can look at it for composition and color and everything like that in the story that it's telling. But the thing that stuck out to me was the sun flare.
Yeah, that's what
I was about to say that before, as you started talking. I didn't want to interrupt you. I did remember.
Yeah. And the reason why it's important to me is because a sun flare like that only comes from a lens. And a lens is modern. A camera is modern. And so to have something so unreachable, something that was so historical, a personages that was so historical, to be captured by a photograph makes him so tangible to right now.
Yeah.
You know, it's like he is there. He is walking on water. He is, you know, out on the lake right now, you know, and it made him very real to me. And so I loved that you left that lens flare in there because it made him more attainable to me.
I love a good lens flare.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
I
It's
love
so
it.
great.
Interesting though, like I did, and I think I may have told you this when you told me that. There was a version of this that the lens flare was taken out.
You
But
didn't
then
tell me that.
I went and put it back around the same time as I put the splashes back. It was like a theology decision for
Yeah.
me. It was like, Jesus is perfect because of what's internal,
Right.
not what happened to him.
Right.
And so that, and I finally stopped feeling ashamed that it wasn't a painting.
Yeah.
It is a new medium.
Yeah.
And I finally just like owned this. Because we got a lot of criticism. We got a lot of people being like, oh, that's so irreverent.
Right. Or
oh, screw it.
disrespectful or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
Or that's what the sculptors were saying about the painters. Every new art form is going to seem irreverent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you do it with
Thank you.
respect, and I love it.
Thank you.
So I know that your art has impacted a lot of people and it's hanging in so many homes now. Can you share a testimony with us that you've heard of somebody that was touched by your work?
One of my favorite moments, we had this exhibit that traveled around for a while, and like different churches would call and be like, hey, can I use that? I'm like, right, yeah. And I had a guy that would drag it out there and set it up. I think they paid for the travel. I think they paid like $200 to like maintain the exhibit. So it wasn't like it was just like a voluntary thing for churches. And we set it up and tons of people came. And this was in around Keller, Texas. And no one knows who I am. So it's kind of cool. I can just like float through there until they see the documentary that was made of it. And then I become more visible. But there's this lady standing there in front of this depiction of the woman who was taken in adultery. Can I bracket this real quick and say I have the biggest hang up with the Bible? This is going to fly. I went to Vanderbilt for a master's program in theology, the divinity school.
Yeah.
And everybody there has a hang up with the Bible. This is mine. I didn't know I could have a hang up with the Bible until I heard all of them hanging up with the Bible. Anyway,
Yeah.
I hate how women are called in the Bible
Yeah.
and how this woman is known as the woman taken in adultery.
Yeah.
Drives me nuts, right? But
Yeah.
that's the only thing we know her by. We don't have a name for this woman.
Yeah.
And same thing, all these women, like only a couple of them have names. They usually just have a red letter,
Yeah.
you know, and
Yeah.
a scarlet letter. Anyway, so it's the depiction of that woman and the men who are ready to like nail her with stones, and Jesus is sitting there just like drawing. And this woman came up just talking to me, and I was like, hey, what's your favorite one? And she kind of like tears up a little bit. She walks me over, and we just camp in front of that picture. And I was like, talk to me. Like, that's a unique pick.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes on to tell me, she goes, I have kids at home, I'm single, and my job doesn't necessarily like lend itself to a Christian lifestyle. She's a stripper. And she goes, I don't know what to do. I'm sitting there like looking at this woman. I was like, man, you're so hurting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just sat there like crying with her
Mm-hmm.
and hoping that she could realize that like Jesus was talking to her when he's drawing that line in the sand.
Mm-hmm.
He's saying, leave her the hell alone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, lots of moments like that. Other ones, like a little more lighthearted. A woman spent like $2,000 on a canvas. Calls me just in a panic one morning. She goes, my grandkids had one of those sticky hands. And a red sticky hand. And she had the white like
Yeah.
white
Oh,
on white,
yeah.
high key, black and white.
Yeah.
And he goes,
Oh, no.
and it's got like red goo on it. She's freaking out. She called me, and I happened to be sitting next to my piano. And we moved to Nashville. My parents came over to our house. They lived next door to us, and we had their old piano in our house. And it was this beautiful, like, Baldwin piano that we got when I was like 7 years old. Mm-hmm. And like every good Mormon, I had to take piano lessons. And then my parents would yell at me to practice. And one day my mom's getting mad at me to practice.
Yeah.
It's like going into the piano, and I'm getting back to the art, right? Going to the piano, and I was like, playing my stupid song. And I lean, and I'm 7 years old. I have big Bucky Beaver, like, teeth.
Yeah.
And I lean on the piano, and I start going. So, for a fact, I'm grinding on the piano with my teeth.
Oh, my gosh.
And my mom comes in, and she sees these teeth marks on this brand new piano.
Yeah.
And she goes, oh, your dad's going to be so mad. And I was like, oh, crap.
Yeah.
Sure enough, my dad came home, and he's a young dad. I was 7. He had to be in his 20s. He was mad.
Yeah.
Fired up in a way that 20-year-old dads get fired. 20-something-year-old dads get fired up. Like, it takes a lot to get me going now that I'm an old dad. But in my 20s, I get fired up, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was him, and forgiven. I get it now.
Yeah.
Right? So fast forward 35 years, and that piano's sitting in our house, and they come over. We were getting ready to move to Nashville, and they walk over to our house, and they're kind of teary-eyed. My parents basically go, what are you going to do with that piano? I go, yeah, do you want me to help move this over to your house? They're like, no, we want to give it to you. And I was like, and my dad was kind of like emotional, right? Mm-hmm. And I was too. I was like, wow, like this is so cool. I suck at piano, but so do all my sisters. And so maybe I suck the least. But I have a daughter that's a musician, whatever. Like, and it was in our house, and they gave me the piano. And my dad left, and my mom was sitting there. She goes, I got to tell you a story. A few months ago, or a couple of years ago, we wanted to put a player piano on this. And so the guy came over, and he sticks the player piano, because none of us ever learned how to play it. Uh-huh. And he looked at it, and he goes, you know what? This piano's kind of old. Like, I can refinish this and make it just brand new for you guys. And my dad's like, awesome. And the guy's like writing up a bid. My dad's over there looking at it, and my mom goes, he walked up to the piano, was running his fingers over it, and he saw your little teeth marks. He put his finger on it, and he kind of gets choked up, and he goes, on second thought, that's not refinish the piano. Mm-hmm. And so I was sitting by that piano when this collector called about the sticky hand on her expensive art.
Yeah.
And I go, ma'am, I'm happy to send you a new one. Like, I'll get it at cost. We'll get it really cheap for you. I said, but let me run this scenario by you. Mm-hmm. At some point, you're going to be thrilled that your little grandbaby was looking at Jesus and interested enough to smack it with a red sticky hand. And she goes, you know what? She goes, you're right. And it completely
I love that so much.
And it changed. And so it changed my perspective on art at that point.
Yeah.
Because now people are like, where should I put this where the kids can't touch it? I'm like, those fingerprints?
Yeah.
I get it. The canvas is expensive. Those fingerprints are going to be more sacred to you than the art at some point. Let your babies touch it.
Yeah.
Let your adult friends touch it, especially that one with Jesus and his hand.
And his hand with the marks in his hands.
Yes. If you're spying on people, they'll go touch it when nobody's looking.
Yeah.
And I have a glass-covered one that was in my exhibit, and it had fingerprints all over it.
I love that.
And the first time I saw it, I called my framer. I'm like, dude, we got to get rid of these fingerprints.
No.
And then, and the fingerprints kept reappearing, and it took me years.
Yeah.
To realize that,
people are connecting with your art.
Yeah, touch it, get it dirty, stick a fingerprint on it.
Yeah.
And so that was another favorite story of art
so
in a
cool.
home. None of these are clean cut. I had a teenager punched a hole in it one time. A friend from church called. She goes, my friend just texted me this because she found out you're here. She wonders what to do. And there's a walking on water canvas, single mom, angry teenage son.
Yeah.
Was mad at something and punched a hole in Jesus. Save it.
Yeah.
Sometimes we
get mad.
Sometimes we yell at God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes we throw punches.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And just absorb that blow. Jesus did. He doesn't care. Or he does care, actually.
Yeah. But it's the metaphor of it all that makes it so beautiful.
Yeah, it's abuse these things, please. In fact, I think I might actually make a post about that when I go home.
There you go.
Now that we're talking about it, thank you.
That really puts
please
things
abuse
into
my
perspective for me, because
Yeah.
I've got a 4-year-old, and I'm just thinking about all the things in my house that have
that are not sacred when you have boys.
Destroyed.
Yeah.
But it's, it just kind of changing my perspective. My new car and the stickers and the fingerprints all over the windows, like, just leave it.
Yeah, just leave it.
I have scratches on my tailgate of my car, but it's from my son loading his dirt bike in the back of my car, and I'm like, I love it.
Yeah, one day you're going to look back and miss it.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that. That's beautiful.
Have you heard Walker Hayes' song, Leela's Stars?
Mm-mm.
I cry every time I listen to it.
Singer? Okay.
You know Walker Hayes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Michael Farron's worked with him
Yeah,
before.
Yeah.
Mike's buddies with him.
Yeah.
But Walker Hayes has a song about when he was he was not first married. He had kids at home. And he's sitting there in the Costco parking lot because he was trying to be a songwriter, stocking Costco shelves with the graveyard shift.
Oh, yeah.
And he's laying there early before his graveyard shift, and he's staring at the holes in their ceiling, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he saw them as holes. But one time he was sitting there with his daughter, and like light was pouring through them, and she goes, "Look, Dad, they're stars." And it was so cool. It's called Leela's Stars, one of the coolest songs ever.
I'm going to listen to it.
It's a deep cut.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It
It's
sounds like
obscure.
Those are the best.
Yeah.
It was well before the Applebee's song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
Now he's got a big barn dough.
yeah,
Yeah,
now he's got that
I
big
love
barn
that.
He's
though.
got a
His social
trampoline in
media is
there
so
and
fun.
a
Probably does-
basketball court.
yes.
Yeah.
It's wild. Like, what a fun life. What a good dad he is.
I
know.
It's so fun to watch. But yeah, that's one of my all-time favorite songs because of that same concept of
that's
kids do damage to our lives. Like, anyway.
They help you see.
Yeah, they help us see.
Yeah, for sure.
So, how has Reflections of Christ strengthened your testimony and changed you in ways that you never expected?
For a while after it came out and it went viral, which 2007 viral was email chains and blogs and maybe early Facebook, right? 8 was Facebook kicked in. And I had a big exhibit in town that had over 100,000 visitors. Part of the exhibit was this documentary that had my face. I'm like narrating the thing that my friend, a really good filmmaker, did. And so I would be like out to eat, trying to eat a burrito, and someone would come up to me like crying about Jesus. So I'm like, burrito down.
Yeah.
And it went from just being like a normal guy, photographer, whatever, to everybody who talks to you wants to talk about Jesus.
Yes.
And wants your interpretation of like, what were you really trying to do with this picture? And I'm like, well, dude, I was just trying to get him not to fall off the bricks. And they're
Yeah.
like, I think it means. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
And these layers of meaning, right?
Yeah.
And it really softened me. Like I was at a bowling alley one time, out of town. And this is like 2 years out. It was when Reflections of Christ was a bestseller. It was a best-selling book.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
regional bestseller in the West. It did really well. The movie itself sold like 75,000 copies. So it was around
Okay.
on DVD. And we went bowling. You know how they share the lanes and you're like sharing a table?
Yeah.
Well, we went to go to our table. These people had all their crap on our table. And I was
Yeah.
like, and I was so bothered, right? I was so bothered. For some reason, it just like struck me. And I was like, who's the idiots that put their stuff all over my table?
Yeah.
Like, and I was like indignant, really like inappropriately mad and disproportionately mad. And I was about to go find the person. I was like looking for the adult in charge of all the kids that put their crap on my table. Mm-hmm. And I see it, and before I can walk up to her, she walks up to me. She goes, "Are you Mark Mabry?" I was like, "Yes, ma'am." I was like, you know. She goes, "I'm sorry to bother you. Like, it's a crazy time for my family. They're all in town right now because my husband, their grandpa, just died, and we all just a couple of nights ago spent all night watching your movie."
Wow.
With him in the hospital room right before he died.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
And she goes, "I can't believe I'm meeting you right now." And I'm like,
Yeah.
and so I was so thankful that I didn't talk first.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like ruin that moment she had
Yeah.
like with her husband.
Yeah.
Because who's the jerk, you know? And so having this and all this stuff I've had to write like hundreds of thousands of words and whatever to like support it and just whatever answer for it, it has made me like, it's pinned me to a standard that I don't live by any stretch of the imagination well. But when I fail to have faith, when I fail to like be good for the right reason because I love Jesus, like that's the best of me is I love Jesus, so I'm going to be good. Under that is I can't be a jerk because these people think I love Jesus. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's a safety net for me to like remind me like how I should be acting.
Yeah.
And that's what it's done to my life. I
Yeah.
mean, even in my own home, my kids walk into my office and I've got like big pictures of Jesus behind me because that's my art. It's my office, right?
Yeah.
It's my gallery. And if I'm sitting there yelling at them and like treating them badly, which I have done,
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's a quick moment of, oh gosh,
Yeah.
like these kids think I'm such a hypocrite, or they think that the whole Jesus thing is nothing but a job.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Yeah.
and so it really like, and in a culture here where like every big Christian musician lives in Franklin, Tennessee, or right around it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like right square. I mean, the
Yeah, they
dude
do.
right up the hill from like right next door to me was an A&R guy for Curb. You know, like
Yeah.
everybody's a Christian artist, and we all struggle with the same thing
Yeah.
of like, I'm a jerk in real life,
Yeah.
but for some reason I can do this and trying to live up to it.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I think it's just a constant reminder of who we should be. But without it, I mean, you're something else, right?
Yeah, without it, I'm trying to live up to a fashion shoot that I did.
Yeah.
And like, seriously, like,
No, it's true.
you end up living up or down to your work.
Yeah, it's true. So you're also a writer.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, you are. When did you start writing, and what does it give you that maybe your other creative outlets don't?
I was a writer first.
Okay.
Like I always could love, even in high school, I was like a closet poet.
Okay.
I was a football player,
Yeah.
you know, but I loved to write music and I loved to write poems. I
Yeah.
had like a book of poetry that my friends, had they outed me or had I outed myself, it would have been game over for my career
Yeah.
in high school. But I love to write. And so in like 2000, so I dropped out of ASU.
Yeah.
Remember we started with that.
Yeah.
When I published Reflections of Christ, and I had a little bit of, for the first time in my life, a tiny bit of financial freedom. Mm-hmm. Not freedom, I just could pay my bills.
Yeah. Yeah.
Without like working hourly.
Yeah.
I was like, I think I should go back. Someday I am going to wish I finished that degree. So I went back. I'm like, definitely not going back into poli-sci. So I finished in Russian, and I met a professor, like a Romanian lady who was really cool. She's like, you should get a master's. I was like, a master's? Like people in my family don't even get college degrees.
Yeah.
And so she talks me into a master's, and I went into this master's program, a liberal arts master's at ASU called Creative Nonfiction Writing. And it wasn't like an MFA, it wasn't fine art, but it was like focused on creative nonfiction. And it taught me how to write, like technically how to write. And I love writing.
And do you write with your daughter, Ava?
I write songs with her.
Yeah.
I co-wrote a song of hers called Last Name.
I love that song.
She
And I
wrote-
love that she like even thought to write something like that, because
Isn't that so sweet?
so many women I know have thought that. The song is, if you guys haven't listened to it, Ava Liv Mabry, it's called Last Name, but it's about giving your maiden name up to get someone else's, and how she misses her last name.
Yeah.
And because that's
She's
who
not
she
even married
is.
yet,
And
but
she's
yeah,
not
like-
even married yet. I mean, but I love that song.
Thank you. And so she'll usually come with a concept
Yeah.
that's almost done, and it's just like rough. And I'm not like a good songwriter from scratch, but I know what she's trying to say because I know who she is.
Yeah.
I love that.
And so I'll be like, okay, this is a little clunky. Did you mean to say this? And we'll rework these things together. I helped her write Roman Empire.
That
which
one's
is one of her
great,
big
too.
songs. And I helped her write one called Amelia. It's about Amelia Bedelia.
Yeah.
And she just put it on Instagram. It's going to be on her new album. But it's about did you read those books when you were little? Amelia Bedelia? Turns out they're written in the 80s. Or originally, I think in the 60s, revamped in the 80s. But Amelia Bedelia kind of has Asperger's. Just this really sweet girl. They'll be like, draw the curtains. And so she'll, instead of like pulling open the curtains, she'll sit down and draw the curtains. You know, like
Yeah.
super literal and everything.
Yeah.
And Ava came with this idea about Amelia being like a tragic figure that's really just beautiful and underappreciated. And it's the sweetest little song. Helped her write that. But yeah, I love writing. Like
Yeah.
if I could hit reset, I wish I would have taken up songwriting. Like it'd be fun.
You can still do it.
Maybe I should.
Maybe you
Yeah,
should.
it's never too
Never
late.
know.
I mean,
It
you've
is
got
never
you've
too
got
late.
connections.
I do have connections, but they're all really good writers. They're like, dude, no. Stay in your lane. If she gets a Grammy, then I'll have my name on it. Then I'll be a Grammy award.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
there
then
you
I
go.
can walk in
Take
here.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, your family obviously plays a huge role in what you do. So how have they shaped things behind the scenes?
I love my family.
You have the best family.
I love them so much.
Yeah.
Honestly, my wife
is incredible.
She's incredible.
She's amazing.
And just by talking a little bit with you, I know it's tender because sometimes relationships go bad.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing breaks my heart more than that. Tara's awesome. And she's put up with a lot of me switching careers.
Mm-hmm.
And she's been really cool about it. How's my family shaped me? Good grief. Everything I write now is for my kids. Mm-hmm. If I write or I make a new piece of art, it is for my kids. So you can tell what's going on in my life based on the art that I'm putting out. Mm-hmm. Because I want to make a point. I want to like hang something in my office, sit my little boy down and say, look, here's one we're working on right now, actually. It's Jesus in the wilderness. Like it was 40 days of temptation.
Yeah.
It's just Jesus like wandering through a desert. At the very beginning of my art, I just wanted to I didn't have a target. It was just like everything was out into the universe. Here's how I feel about Jesus, which is cool. And I needed to do that. But now it's very refined. I'll make art that is focused on one child for one situation. Like I have a kid right now in finance and my oldest son, and he's so sweet. He calls me every day. And he's out west. And he has a baby. I'm a grandpa.
I know, the cutest.
I love her. She's my sweet little granddaughter. But I talked to my son, and we made these two images of Peter like sitting in the boat, mm-hmm. and Jesus on the beach. So after Jesus was resurrected, and Peter was downtrodden because his last interaction with Jesus was denying him. Mm-hmm. And Peter's like sitting on the boat. He's like, I guess I'm gonna go fishing. And he's back to fishing, and sitting there with his empty net. And like six of the apostles are with him, named in the Bible, 5 or 6. And Jesus goes from the beach. He's like, hey, you guys caught anything? They didn't recognize him. And they're like, no, we've been out here all night and we're coming in and we're ticked. And they're sitting there with an empty net in the water. And Jesus is like, oh, simple, just throw it on the other side of the boat. And they're like, whatever. As they're throwing it on the other side of the boat, Peter recognizes, oh my gosh, that's Jesus. So what does he do? Over here, they're getting the mother load, the biggest haul they've ever gotten of fish.
Yeah.
Right? The only thing Peter seems like he's ever wanted, because he was a fisherman. I'm a millionaire. Look at all these fish.
Yeah.
But Peter jumps out of the boat and swims to Jesus. The mother load finally hit. And so my second image is all the rest of the guys pulling in the net and Peter just like mid-swim toward Jesus. And so when I talk to my son, I'm like, dude, I get it. Right now, you're sitting in the boat with an empty net going, hey, God, what do I do?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I said, you have to be willing. When he tells you what to do and it works, you have to be willing to leave it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Or else it owns you. And so those are for my older kids. And I'll probably, if Ava hits, I'll be doing that one for Ava.
Yeah.
Or there'll be a girl story that I'll figure that'll really resonate with her.
Yeah.
There's a lot more women's stories in the stuff I shot in 2019 as well. It's like woman, because I was really Sherry Dew, the publisher of publisher of my book.
I love Sherry
She's
Dew.
awesome.
Yeah.
She's hard. I was sitting across her as a 20-whatever-year-old, and she's like running this multi-million-dollar publisher. She leans in. She goes, I have one question, Mark. I was like, okay. And this is how she's trying to sign me.
Yeah.
She goes, where are all the women? And I was like,
ooh.
I was like, sorry, Sherry. And so everything I've done since then. And I've got 7 sisters. I'm the only boy.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I have a daughter. I have a wife. Like, I should have been more sensitive to that. That's a major fail on my part.
Yeah. You
But,
rectified it.
I rectified it, but a lot of the stories right there from the get-go of Jesus' ministry, it's just him and the guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was dumb. That's what I was shooting. My brain was barely developed when I did this. I was 28.
Excuses.
I was 28, right?
But Sherry Dew's the kind of person that's going to call you out.
Oh, she called me out big
Yeah.
time. And then she killed it with the book. So I was like, thank you, Sherry,
Nice.
for not holding that against me.
Yeah. Okay, so where can people find you if they want to find your art, if they
Okay.
want to see your writings, if they want to see your movie? Like, where can they find all your...
Best place is
Thanks.
probably Instagram.
Okay.
So just go to Reflections of Christ on Instagram. And then a little more behind the scenes. Like, honestly, I have my It's Mabry is my personal one.
Yeah.
It has a lot of like spillover traffic from Reflections of Christ. So there's
Okay.
like a lot of followers on it. But really, seriously, it's just me talking about like, hey, I did this
Yeah.
with my kids. It's not like I'm putting out good content there.
Yeah.
It's like for grandma across the country. right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But mostly Reflections of Christ is where to find it. And I write, and I've gotten to where I was writing long form, but now I write in less than 2,200 characters.
Okay.
Like little essays. And a lot of those are on Reflections of Christ Instagram. Or you can go to my website, but it's all on Instagram.
Okay.
Go
Thank
check
you,
it out.
guys.
His work is phenomenal.
Yes. Purchase his art.
It is mind
Thank you.
I have that one canvas in my room. And
You were the first person to get that.
I sure was. I knew it was coming. And so I was just like, as soon as your launch day came, I was like, that's mine.
It was awesome. I was like, whoa, thanks, Alisa.
I should
It's
bring
really
it over
sweet.
and have you sign it.
I would love that.
Yeah.
I'd be happy to.
Yeah.
We are going to close out with some rapid fire questions.
Sweet. You know what? I'm going to promise rapid fire answers.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right. Favorite movie quote?
Hip Hop Anonymous? Name that movie.
That's Big Daddy?
It's Big Daddy.
That's what it is. I was
Yeah.
like, it was an Adam Sandler.
Hip hop?
Hip
Yep,
Hop.
that's a
And
good one.
every time somebody says hip hop, my wife and I are like, Hip Hop Anonymous? Or anything from School of Rock.
Yes,
Oh, yeah,
that's
that
a
one's
great
great,
one,
too.
All
Jack
right.
Black's the best.
Song you could sing over and over at the top of your lungs.
Oh, gosh.
Besides Ava.
Okay. I love Taylor Swift.
Okay.
I love her song, The One, from the Folklore album.
Yes.
I'm doing good. I'm on some new shit. Anyway,
Yeah.
I love that song.
That's hilarious.
Big
that's-
Swifty.
That's what we can expect on your
And that
drive.
could also
Yeah.
answer the next question, which is guilty pleasure.
Guilty pleasure.
Admitted to all of it.
Taylor
I had a dream on Christmas that Taylor Swift came on to me, and I woke up and my wife was in the gym, and I'm like, honey, I'm so sorry. I resisted. No, guilty pleasure. Late night ice cream. Big
I love
fan.
ice cream.
Yeah, ice cream.
What's
What flavor?
what's your favorite?
Oh, anything we have, but I'll dump.
Anything.
I'll dump nuts in it. I'll
Oh my
put all
gosh.
sorts of stuff. But
What about favorite
and
brand?
milk.
Are you like a Bluebell person?
Oh, I love
or-
Blue because I
Okay.
lived in Texas for a while. So
Oh,
like,
yeah. So you're a Bluebell.
even if Tillamook is better tasting,
Yeah,
I
'cause-
go with Bluebell, and I'm like, it's the only brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm West Coast, so I'm Tillamook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, yeah, but Tillamook is better tasting
So
probably.
good. Yeah.
But Bluebell is God's ice cream.
All right. What's your dream shoot location?
Depends. If I'm doing this, I'd love to go shoot in Israel. I'd
Yeah.
love to
I was
shoot on
gonna
the
ask if
actual
you've
Sea of
gone back.
Galilee.
Yeah. Did you ever get to shoot in Israel?
No, because I got it all done, and I was like,
Okay.
I could go back. I might just go back and not shoot any recreations, and just go like shoot stuff. And I've been there. I've gone. I've shot Sea of Galilee, but I wasn't like thinking how I want. Now I know how I'd like to shoot it.
Okay.
That's a bucket list for me. I
Oh,
want to go
yeah.
to Israel so bad.
It's rad. Super calm place. Just go, especially northern Israel, right by Lebanon.
Yeah.
Let's go chill there.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being on here with us and sharing the technical, the testimony, like everything behind Reflections of Christ, because I know every time I look at my piece, I ponder, and I'm grateful that you have followed that calling that you received, because it's touching so many lives. So
Thank you. You guys are so sweet. Thanks for letting me ramble with really long answers.
I love
I'll
it
trim
though.
them down.
It makes our job a little bit easier though when you can just
chat.
off the cuff, just
Yeah.
chat.
Thank
That's
you.
what it's all about.
It was the Celsius in the car. Fired up.
You only had one, right?
And yeah, it was only one. But I just finished on my way in.
It's just kicking in.
Thank you both. This is
Yes,
awesome.
thank you
I'm
so
so proud
much
of
for
you.
coming.
Thank
Cool
you.
podcast.
Thank
you so much.
We can't wait to have Ava on too.
Bring her on.
She's gonna be great.
We're gonna have you close out for us, so you're just gonna look in the camera and say, "My shutter's full."
My shutter's full.
It's
So,
great. You love it.
Uncle Eddie, I should go bald today. Like, reveal my bald head.
Y'all make sure that you like, follow, subscribe, hit all of our buttons. Thank you
for
so much, Mark, for being
Thank
a
you,
part of
thank
this
you.
podcast.
My
Thank
pleasure.
you. Bye.
See ya.